Alright, back trying to clear my shop out again. I gotta actually see the wall over there. Uncovered a few things here, so I got a like brand new S&S crank. Fairly long stroke. Looks like it had like a 4-inch bore piston on it. Could be a 4 1/4, 4 1/2, 4 5/8, 4 3/4. Who knows? Can you read the numbers there?
No.
Me either. So the way you know what stroke it is, you measure it. So we'll go grab some measuring. Measuring stick works good. Center of crank to center of the crank. Looks like 2 1/4 inches. Center to center. So it should be 4 1/2 inch stroke. So 4 1/2 by probably 4 inch, I'm guessing. It makes a 113. Let's see what size does this say. Yep, appears to be about 4 inches. So it'll be 113 crank. Evo. Alright, so that means it's probably got the large diameter flywheels on it, which should be 8 1/2, I think, as I remember. Stock size. Let's see, stock size is 8 1/4 maybe. These look like 8 1/2. Yeah, these are about 8 1/2. Okay, now ain't gonna fit in that motor. Oh well. Does that mean I can't use that? Appears to be a little snug. Maybe. Tight. Kind of went on. Oh, that hurts my thumb. Yeah, but it's a 40 case. You'd think it'd fit. It's gonna be a little tight. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. It might fit. I don't think so. Alright, so we gotta strip that down. Rust does not affect the flywheel, it just makes it a little rougher, so you can sand it down if you like or leave, it doesn't matter. Obviously the shafts are probably not going to be good. I'm assuming that the mucky stuff on there is probably not the best for it. The sprocket shaft over here doesn't really care because it's got a bearing that goes on it, so who cares? The rods, that crank pin might not be happy. These are probably the old style S&S rods. The wrist pin is a little bit tight on that. Looks like they had a major seizure issue there. The rods, they're like an M8 or a twin turd. They're a little tight. Here's the rust in them. There we go. Alright, so we're going to see if we're going to get this off. So this here comes off. And that's still good. We just got to clean that. That's not even rusty. Clean it up and keep that. Okay, I'm just going to use this for mock-up, so I'm just going to blast it and not really worry about it too much. Throw it in a stand and make sure it's halfway true, but take the cobwebs off. Use it for a mock-up. We've got a nice case that needs to be mocked up in, so I'm sure it'll almost fit in there. Alright, so these are going to have some kind of a snap ring to hold these in there, I'm guessing. Looks like it's a wire clip. It's got a little notch right there to pull it out with. Let's see here. There we go. Let's go see what it takes to get that out of there. Small screwdriver, small screwdriver. Trying to poke your eyeballs. No. That might still be usable too. I would reuse it on my bike, but that's me. I've done a lot worse on my race bike. That one's not coming up. I'm guessing maybe it's not there to come up. Thumb does not like this. Yeah. It's there. It's not where it's supposed to be though. There, it's way down here. It ain't moving either. Screwdriver's going to break if you keep forcing it. Alright, we're not going to force that no more because I'm going to break the tip off. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do something else. So you can see how that the groove is here, but the end of the snap ring is way over here. There's too much tension for me to move it. And it feels like the wrist pin is pushed against it. Because it's not even lifting up. Because normally you should be able to lift that up. So the wrist pin has a chamfer on it. When it pushes all against the clip, it won't come out. But that also means I can't pull the clip out if it's right next to it. So if I shove the pin the other way a little bit, then there'll be room to get the clip out, and I can beat it out normal. Got all that? Normally these are the tools I use. Hammer. Extension machined, flat. Extension not machined, see, not flat. So this becomes your tool. You beat on this one over here, and it pushes flat against the pin and knocks it out. So you might hit on the snap ring, which means it won't happen. We'll try it. Maybe we'll luck out. So that. Didn't seem like it moved it. Okay, we'll get a different punch. So now we're moving up to the steel hammer. Yeah, steel punch. We're going to push on the wrist pin, not the clip. The easiest way to do that is go where the clip isn't and hit it. Ooh, it sounded like it moved that time. Okay, now the clip is trying to come out. Still not wanting to come out. There we go. Wrist does not like this. Okay, there's that clip. That one looks like it might be usable too. As long as they're still round, they're usable. When they're oval shaped, then they're not usable. Broken wrist and thumb. Still not happy. Oh well. And now, that tool goes in there like that. See, the wrist pin's coming out. Ah! Don't hit thumb with hammer. It hurts. See, when you look in the camera, not what you're doing. Yeah. Why is that stinging right now? There might be a blood blister going right there right now. Oh well. Wrist pin is out. Cleaned up. Could be reused. Piston, not reusable. Very bad surface. A little bit thinner right through here now where it got kind of gougy. So this becomes a mock-up piston or something you want to play around doing different weird cuts on, or weird shit. That's what these are good for. So I tend to keep junk like this. You never know when you need a piston to make something from. See, that's starting a little bit bloody. Yeah, it's not throbbing like it was. It's good. It's a good thing that's not the broken one. Oh, that is the broken thumb. I don't feel the brake anymore though. I fixed the brake. Well, that's how it works, It's good stuff. In case you didn't think I was pushing that screwdriver pretty hard. See how it's bent now? Flexible. Okay. So now we got a nice good crank. Waiting to be blasted clean. See what it looks like. Alright. We'll come back after it's done. Because it needs some cleaning. Definitely. Alright, that's it for now.